What is up, guys? As you can see by the title of this video, I finally did it. I finally reached Plat 1 in Master Duel. And to top it all off, I did it with a 6 winning spree. And today I will be showing you guys with which decks I actually made this rank. So I'm gonna go back to the 3 decks I used to get Plat 1. And after showcasing the 3 decks I used, I will also showcase some replays. I will try to get a replay for all 3 decks, showcasing how I beat my opponents, so you guys can see how all 3 decks work, and also the power of all 3 decks in this higher rank. So the first deck I'm gonna start off is my Dark Magician deck. As you can see from my latest video, I've made a small change. I've added Oracle Mahad to test it out. And honestly, I have been getting less luck with it than usual. And I'm really, for the games I played, I think out of 3 games, I had him in my opening hand twice. So it wasn't quite the best for me. But I think it is a pretty decent card, so I did want to try him out. And as you can see, I'm running 41 cards because I didn't know what else to cut. Like, all the other cards are so good that I had no clue which one I could cut. Maybe I could cut a Blossom or Maxi, but I feel like these cards are just so good if you're going second, and you're already in a struggle if you go second with this deck. So I just added him to see how it works. And so far, I'm actually not, surprisingly, I'm not a fan of it. But this deck actually got me to Plat 2 with a pretty high win percentage of like 60 to 70%. And it was very consistent. It had some trouble against some decks if you go second and you didn't have any hand traps. But I mean, that was not really the deck. It was more like every deck would lose from that position. For example, if you go against Drytrons and you don't have any hand traps and they just set up the most insane board with like 5 fairies in hand, you're gonna lose. So yeah, this is my Dark Magician deck. It got me to Plat 2. And while in Plat 2, I played this deck. I played my Red Eyes deck. And I actually had a lot of success with it. But I noticed it wasn't consistent enough to beat the higher tier decks constantly. But it was very strong. I could beat Tri-Brigade easily. I could beat actually any other deck, but decks like Eldlik were a pain in the ass. So I used this deck and the Dark Magician deck to get to Plat 2. I think I have like a 65% win rate with this deck, and with the Dark Magician deck it was like around 70%. But that's just because this deck list is not final yet. I still need to test it out, and I'm gonna test it out a lot in the coming days to give you guys the best possible version of this deck. I already have a few extra ideas what I can do to tweak it, but this was actually very strong. Together with my Dark Magician deck, this was definitely a good deck to get me to Plat 2. And then to make my Plat 1 push, I actually use the strongest deck in the game right now, and that's Tri-Brigade Zodiac. I would likely run a Harpy's Feather Duster if I owned it, but I don't own it. But this is my list for my Tri-Brigade Zodiac deck. And I had some trouble if I had a bad opening hand. For example, if I bricked. But usually if this deck goes first and you have a decent opening hand, you win. And if you go second and you have like an Impermanence in your hand or like a Blossom or a Maxi, you also win. It's so strong. It's by far the strongest deck I have. I did notice actually my Dark Magician deck was better in some cases. Like, surprisingly. I noticed that I was winning some matchup with Dark Magician that I had a harder time winning with this deck, while this should be the by far strongest deck on ladder. But yeah, it is what it is. This is very strong. I will show you guys a replay of all 3 decks. I hope you guys enjoy. Have a blessed day. Peace.
I'm saying it's time.